Today we've got a Nissan XTrail CVT transmission with a problem. It's sort of surging through the gears. Came in on the tow truck, so what we're going to do now is just see if we can get any codes out of it. The OBD2 plug's just here, next to where the fuse box is here. And we managed to get a fault code, a P0868, fluid pressure low. Now this got the RE0F10A transmission, also known as the JF011E transmission in it. So you can see that on the little ID plate there. Now to check the oil level on these, there's a little clip on the dipstick. You just have to press that in and then it'll pull out. If you're working on it, what you do is you just turn it by 180 degrees so it doesn't keep getting stuck in the little clip gets stuck on. When you finish the job, you just clip it back in. And these also take a special Cvt Fluid in case you need to top it up. You can't top it up with any transmission fluid. Now just to show what's going on, it's a little bit hard to explain, but I can show you what it's doing. When it's under slight load, and it's jumping through, so that's what's happening. Something inside is just pulsating instead of being applied constantly. So we'll just put that back into neutral, and in reverse we're getting the same problem. So I've just removed the little cowling there for the air filter, and if you have a look under there, you've got these little bolts here. They're actually pressure ports where you can test the various line pressures, pump pressure, clutch pressure, etc. I'll show you on the diagram in a moment. And just above here, it's a little bit hard to see, just where my finger is, that's the little oil cooler. It's a water oil cooler, so there's water circulating through there, and because we've got a code of low line pressure, there is actually a little filter in there that because they're so difficult to get to, quite often they're neglected. So if that filter is blocked, because CVTs do create a fair bit of friction material, that's going to restrict the oil flow through the cooling line as well. So before you go ahead and pull it out and all that, it's worth definitely dropping the pan, having a look at the inside of the pan, the condition, cleaning the filter there, and also just replacing that filter in there. You can do pressure checks there, but until you've done all that, it's sort of, you can't really test the pressures in it properly. So anyway, I'll just show you on the diagram what I'm talking about. Here I've taken the wheel off and just removed this plastic stone guard just to gain better access to this cooler. And you can see there are 4 little bolts there, so we're just going to remove those and pull the filter out. There you go, just taken that off, and you can see the little, I don't know if you can see the filter in there behind that. There we go. I've just removed the 4 bolts off there, and you can just see the little filter under there, just a little canister one. So I'll need 2 hands to pull it out, so I'll just move this on the hoses there, and there's a filter right there. There's a better shot of it, and that filter just pulls out. Just be careful not to damage those mating surfaces with screwdriver or anything if you're fiddling with it, and make sure it's nice and clean before you remove it. And there we go. The little filter looks like. Now here's the Sonax website that you can look up yourself. You've got the line pressure one, which is that one. Forward clutch pressure, primary pulley pressure, torque converter clutch apply pressure, the torque converter clutch release pressure, and the secondary pulley tap is on the other side of the, you can just see up here it says it's on the back side of the, or the rear side of the case. The reverse brake pressure taps on top of the case. So that's the location of them, just for reference. And here we have the line pressures, and you can see if you do a stall test, which basically means you put your foot on the brake, put it into reverse or drive, and hold the accelerator flat to the floor, you'll achieve the stall speed of the torque converter, and you can see that the pressure there reaches up to 850 psi. So just make sure if you are testing those pressure ports that you've definitely got a gauge that can handle those sorts of pressures. Can be dangerous as well, so make sure you have all the protective gear and that. But anyway, you can see what pressures, the line pressure you should be getting about 140 psi in park at idle with the engine at operating temperature, and in reverse you should be getting 130 to 145 psi pressure just idling, and so on. So I'll just hold it still on the first section here, so you can freeze frame it if you want, or you can just go to the Sonax SONNAX website and punch in this information as well. So and here's also the information that I mentioned earlier, that the fluid must reach 150 Fahrenheit, or between 50 and 80 degrees Celsius, to open the element in the cooler. So you purge all the air out of it. If you've done an oil change or anything like that, you've got to make sure that is done. So you've got a few little things you can check before you start pulling the transmission out anyway. Anyway, I hope that's helped. We're going to go ahead and do these checks and see how we go. And here again, you've got a diagnostics information that'll tell you, to check certain things if certain situations are happening. We've got this judder on acceleration under load, so it tells you a whole lot of stuff. Basically tells you to check everything, but until you've checked those filters, make sure the cooling line has a good flow. All this information is sort of irrelevant. So anyway, I hope that might help you fix your CVT problems if they arise. Thank you for watching.